but a lot of it is just, it's my happy place. I get to see and learn stuff. I like DC as a city, so it's not like a hard thing to go there, but it's, I can go look at an SR-71, and then the docent who volunteered there flew the SR-71 and can tell me all about it. It takes the technology off the paper and makes it real to me and applies it. It's kind of that intangible, but also just, and this is where I'm not that old, but I feel old when I look at some of this stuff. I've seen how much we've changed, in the 50 years since we landed on the moon, which at that point, was amazing and still is amazing, to going to space almost, a bi-weekly launch, once every 2 weeks, but bi-weekly is ambiguous, of a satellite, of private companies doing it, of all this. And then if you look at it from there, 50 years before that, we were just flying for the first time. So to me, it's a good indicator of where we've come and how we've done. I know a lot of travel has shut down, but just looking at the impact the 747 had on global travel, which they just ordered the last parts for after almost 50 years in service. And the fact that as a wide body plane, you could fly from the US to China on a nonstop flight, or US to Japan on a nonstop flight, and it made it possible for people to travel and shrink the world. It's seeing that stuff and learning how much impact it actually has had on the world and a society. The fact that you and I are talking via Zoom relatively easily, 20 years ago, this would have been, a $6 million room and all this stuff. And this shows how the technology is advanced. And at the same time, they can use the same technology to talk to the space station. Now, I'm not saying that, one came from the other, but it's pretty impressive to see. Now we have satellite and satellite TV. And, I remember when having a satellite to have the Olympics live was, next to impossible. And the delay of making a long distance phone call across the Atlantic. And now we just Zoom with them in real time. And that technology and watching how that all exists just amazes me. And oftentimes they're hand in hand.